God chose to wait. He waits for that freely spoken yes, the response of Mary to the angel. God never acts against our freedom, any of us, including Mary. And so here, as always, he makes himself dependent upon us, upon our free decision, and Mary's yes. Mary's yes, of course, becomes the jubilant door through which God's able to enter the world and become man. In fact, in the image of our Blessed Mother today, of Mary, St. Luke is teaching us that the presence of Christ is already in our midst, in the depth of every person who says yes to the good news, that says yes to the gospel of Jesus. Mary is more than the mother of Jesus. She's also the ideal disciple, the ideal follower of Christ, and hence she's the perfect model for us as followers of Christ. That's something that we all certainly should pay attention to, huh? Mary's example, Mary's modeling for us. So what does it look like to be a faithful disciple, to be a faithful follower of Jesus who embodies his presence for the world? Mary shows us. If God's first thought was to save us, to send his son, his second thought must have been, how am I going to do that, huh? His second thought had to be Mary, the instrument through which Jesus would come to us. Mary must have prepared herself well for this throughout her whole life, starting when she was a young child, huh? Spending time in prayer, speaking with God, reading the scriptures. She must have been such a beautiful young woman, and I certainly believe that one of the joys of heaven, when we get there, will be to see her in all her beauty. Also in St. Luke's Gospel, Mary becomes the first missionary. She hears from the angel that Elizabeth, her cousin, is pregnant with John the Baptist. And immediately, she goes off to share the good news of the Annunciation with her. She takes the word, which is deep within her, and shares that word with Elizabeth. That word brings life deep in Elizabeth's person and being. And we're told that St. John, even in the womb, can't contain himself at the joyful news. He leaps for joy. All of us, brothers and sisters in Christ, are supposed to do this same thing as disciples. Be missionaries who receive the word and speak that word in such a way that it gives life and meaning to others. We're to be people of prayer, like Mary was, but people who speak after listening to God. Then we're supposed to bring the presence of Christ to others, to those especially who are in need of that word. Yes, we are called to help others to recognize the presence of Christ that is already here, right now. And this is where the consecration of Russia and the Ukraine are so relevant for us, huh? Yes, we entrust them and all of us anew to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. But we also pray that we become missionaries to all people, especially the vulnerable victims of this unjust aggression in the Ukraine. Our hearts break as we see over 3 million women and children fleeing from their homes, leaving their homelands and going into generous neighboring countries. We're called upon not to be indifferent, huh? Not to be indifferent. Think this is some far place away. What does it have to do with me? As Christians, as faithful disciples of Jesus, we're called not to be indifferent ever, but to join in assisting them, witnessing to Christ, praying and working for his peace to prevail. Yes, Mary is pronounced blessed in the Gospels, because she believed and she acted upon it. She didn't go home after the Annunciation and tell her family and friends only what happened. She didn't go home and just ponder it or think about it a lot by herself or write about it in her journal. She acted on it. She trusted. She went to Elizabeth with it and shared and witnessed to the Word the presence of Jesus in her life. So today, my brothers and sisters in Christ, I thank you for doing this as we join in this worldwide effort promoted by our Holy Father, Pope Francis. Your dedication to the Lord and His will is evident by how you strive to stay close to Him in your life, especially through the Eucharist and through your praying of the Rosary and other devotions to our Blessed Mother, by which we honor her particularly on her feast day. I thank you for sharing the word of life that is within you, sharing it generously with others. I'm certainly grateful and ask the Lord and our Blessed Mother to bless you today as we gather for this Eucharist. May we always, always be people who always say yes. Yes to what the Lord needs us to do. To serve Him as missionary disciples, sharing His love, His mercy, His peace with all those in need. God bless you all.